Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
This is my final MAFS-related interview.
What sort of villain gets that?
It's Australia's reaction.
It's an
This
exclusive.
is an exclusive. That's hitting the cutting room floor, bro.
Caused a lot of drama and it never got aired. It just went nuts.
I'm gonna start this one the way that Selina would start each and every one. Yo, yo, yo!
What is up?
What is up? Hey, girl.
We are back.
In the studio.
It's
Back
a
with
new
some more
day.
fire.
Back with some more flavour.
Wait, is that energy okay? Are we okay?
Yes,
Have we been
are
fighting,
okay.
bro? We just looked at each other like, are we actually in the studio now? Is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm back. I just escaped for a little bit and I came back.
Hey, cool. What did you have for breakfast? Let's start there.
Oh, I had rice cakes with avocado, peanut butter. I'm trying really hard to work on my diet.
Oh my God.
For the
close
hot
to
girl summer.
Bro, close to festive season, bro. My diet does not stay intact. I ain't gonna lie to you. Also,
Really?
This is a revelation, by the way. I think I might be gluten intolerant.
Oh, damn.
I know. I'm only just fine. Bro, I get bloated like a motherfucker every time I have gluten. And I'm like, I was trying to explain this to my mom's and she's like, what is gluten? What is gluten?
Yeah.
So I might be the first Zimbabwean to ever.
It's so funny because most, I know Asians are gluten and lactose intolerant.
Serious?
Yeah, but it's funny because our parents are like, gluten?
Yeah.
What is that?
Legit. So that's a revelation for me. So yeah, that's what's up today.
Bloating's real.
Yeah, bloating's a real thing. Hey, listen, man, we've got a crazy ass couple of weeks coming up. But today, we have got Bronte from Married at First Sight.
Bronte Schofield.
Come on now.
So excited.
I know, man.
Yeah, had a pretty big year. And now her sister, Kirra, is now on the current season of Love Island.
Oh my God.
Big year for the sisters.
I know, man.
Lots to unpack.
But-
We are recording live from Gadigal Land. She's streaming live from Perth. Here she is, Bronte Schofield.
Let's get into it. Bronte, welcome to the studio or virtually.
Yes. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to be here.
That's what's up, girl. How you feeling? You good?
I'm good. I feel like I'm just riddled with anxiety 24/7, but we kind of just learn to roll with it. It's fine.
God damn,
Yeah,
girl.
so talk to us. What's been going on since post-show?
Oh, God. Well, obviously, this year's been a little bit of a lot.
It's been a
of
big,
roller
big year
coaster.
for you.
It's been a massive year. There's been so much that's been going on, not just with MAFS people in general, but just in my personal life with my dad. And then we moved to Sydney. Then 5 days out from moving to Sydney, I find out my dad's got bowel cancer. And then it's
Oh my God.
my sister's on Love Island. And there's just so much that's been going on.
Yeah.
And then my Instagram was deleted for 2 months. So it's just been, a lot. I haven't had time to process anything. Let's just put it that way.
That's what's up.
Wow.
Look, man, you take all the time that you need, to be able to get back to yourself. And, man, I really hope that dad gets to feeling well soon and is getting the right treatment that he needs, man.
Yeah.
That's tough,
Thank
girl.
you. Yeah, my dad is an amazing person. He has never been sick in his whole life. And then I kind of take these sort of things as a sign. I was supposed to go 5 days prior and then after, and then boom, my dad is in hospital. So, I believe that everything happens for a reason and what's meant for you won't pass you. So,
Definitely.
I'm still in the works of moving over east. It's just been pushed a little bit. And that's
Postponed.
okay.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing too, hey, when you're really starting to look at life in those extremes where it's you actually do need to listen to what, the power above you and, everything else is trying to push you to do, even though you have your own plans. We have the saying back home where it's you tell the universe or God your plans and then it just laughs back at you.
Oh, yeah. My sister and I love that saying. It's so true. That's why I've been trying to keep a lot of things to myself. But as you guys know, coming off of reality TV, people want to know everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're boring.
Absolutely.
And then you give too much and then they're like, oh no, your 15 minutes is up. So it's
My God, man.
Yeah.
Such a short window.
What from us?
Yep.
It's a lot.
It is.
But it's a lot.
It is.
How have you been coping, man? With, first of all, coming off the show. And there's that. And it's so crazy. I think something that not many people really understand is this window is, it's a very short window of opportunity, but a very short window where you really need to be able to capitalize on very healthy coping mechanisms. And, you need a very good tight five, you know what I mean? In all these variables that need to be in your control to make sure that you're sane, you know what I mean? How did you cope, in this little window?
I was not okay.
Serious.
Like, I was far from okay. I'm very sensitive. I feel a lot of emotion, and I kind of just, I guess when you live one life, and which I'm talking about the experiment, and then you watch it back and you're like, I've just had everything taken away from me, my truth taken away from me. I've had my voice taken away from me. And you don't have your phone. You don't have your Instagram. You can't speak. You've signed a contract. I felt cornered, and there was nothing that I could do about it. And every single time I would sign on to TikTok, or I'd go onto a backup account on Instagram, the hate was so loud that I just become so quiet. And that's not like me at all. I was, I've only really probably started to feel like myself in the last few weeks. I would say October was probably the worst month of my life. I was just so wrapped up in my own thoughts of mourning my old life prior to MAFS and stepping into this new life and this new chapter. And I think you kind of get to this certain point where you're like, I'm in limbo and I miss my old self, but she had to kind of die in order to step into this new chapter.
Come on.
So true.
Yeah, and I've been battling with that this whole year, and I'm so proud of the woman that has come out of MAFS, and the woman that, even watching it back, I was still so proud of her. I was like, she put up with a lot. Like, she was everybody's punching bag, left, right, and centre, and I still get up every day and put my best foot forward. Whether or not I give 5% that day, I'm okay with that.
That's what's up.
That's enough.
Yep. So
it's been a lot. It's been a lot.
Yeah. I know. I'm honestly so proud of you because, you were matched with Harrison.
Yeah. But that name's still.
I'm sorry. I know.
We'll refer to him as Voldemort.
Even if I meet a guy and his name's Harrison on a Hinge or something, I'm like, bye. Sorry.
I'm guessing you will never name your baby boy Harrison.
No, not even Harry. And then Harry Potter is my favourite movie.
Yeah, no way. Oh my God.
So rude.
I'm annoyed because obviously I get to speak to you, but Harrison came on when I wasn't co-host yet. And Taku got to speak to you.
Oh, did he come on? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I knew that Ali had come on, but I didn't know that Harrison.
And he came on, and basically I think the craziest thing was having him on was look, this is what we do. You know what I mean? We have a platform where we have people that, are coming from reality TV. You know what I mean? So this is what we do. But it's giving him the platform to be able to speak and have nothing good to say about you was interesting, because I was just listening to it back again and I was like, it wasn't anything nice that came out of his mouth, about you. You know what I mean? And
it doesn't shock me. Still to this day, the man doesn't have anything nice to say about me. And that's okay. That's his, I guess, in his mind, that's his reality, and that's okay. If that's the story that he wants to lead with to make himself sleep at night, be my guest. But I know what happened. He knows what happened, and that's our truth. That's all that we can do. And I've never had any intention on bagging Harrison. It's just not who I am as a person. I just let him do his thing and make everybody else see it for what they can.
Yeah. I mean, there's that saying, there's your side, my side, and the truth.
Absolutely.
Right.
There's that.
So true. So, it's so
in
true.
saying that, do you watch back? Because I know you just mentioned just then that you've rewatched it. Is there anything that you would redo differently, or anything that you want to take accountability for?
Leave.
Yeah. But that's the thing. That's the thing. I got pissed off as well, because the comments that I would read about myself is, why the fuck is she still with Cody? Why is she there? She's starting to look desperate. I'm sure you can relate to that as well. But do you want to give the people some background as to why you want to stay?
I think it was all what people need to really understand is that you are picked out of tens of thousands of people to go on this once-in-a-lifetime show, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I was single for a very long time, and people can call me naive. They can call me whatever they want. Honestly, I don't care. I was so hopeful that, when I very first got that call, I actually ignored them for a month. I was like, I'm not doing this. I was like, hell no. I was like, there is no way you're getting me on this show. I've heard this, I've heard that.
Yep.
And it was actually, my mum that was like, well, why don't you just do it? Like, honestly, that what have you actually got to lose? And I was like, you know what? I just called them up. I was out with a friend and I was like, hey. So like it all kind of just went really, really fast. And when the ball started rolling, you know, I had a business back here in Perth.
Mm-hmm.
I sacrificed a lot
Yes.
to go on the show. I gave up my everything. I gave up my whole world.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're hopeful that and getting told, we've found you your dream man. He's perfect.
Yes.
And I've gone, oh, this is amazing. Yay. I'm not finding any man in Perth that I am, you know, happy with. I've done the traveling. I've traveled to meet men. I've done it all. Trust me.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm not picking this one. They are.
Yeah.
So it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
And then you get Harrison. So it was more so the fact that I'd given up so much. And if I'm completely honest with you, I did want to leave. It was after our honeymoon. It was the honeymoon from hell. I cried for 6 days straight every single day. I was on the phone to my sister, on the phone to my mum, like, I can't be around this man. It was like my nervous system just shut down whenever I was around him. I just was always on edge. I didn't know what Harrison I was going to wake up to. And it was like, I don't know who I'm dealing with. And I said this to the execs as well. I said, I feel like I'm dealing with a narcissist. I was like, I am dealing with somebody that is detrimental to me. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, you can do it. We matched you with him because you're resilient.
Wow.
So y'all want to dictate what my pain tolerance is now?
Yeah,
and just
pretty much. They were like, your resilience scale was so high, we knew that you could handle it.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That was week 2. So that was when we had 2 weeks. I don't know if it was the same for you, Selina, but we had 2 weeks between the first dinner party and the second dinner party. And that's when I would be around the producers a lot and they would try and calm me down and talk me down, because you guys obviously saw how volatile Harrison and I were those first, like, that week, where I would just storm out of every room, and then, you know, he would gaslight me and say, I never said that, but it was on my phone that he actually said it. And it was just so much going on. And Harrison and I, we did have a moment there where there was a 180, and it just happened. It literally happened overnight. And I was like, I've got Harrison that one day he's telling me that I am a crazy person, and the next day he's bringing me coffee in bed saying how much he wants to be with me and how much he likes me. Little did I know that he'd had a chat with his mum, and his mum had told him that if he wants to make it through this, that he needs to give Australia the love story it deserves, and that includes Bronte.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I fell for it. I honestly did, because I've just got people look at me, and even my sister, and they think we're a bit of a pushover. I see one good thing in someone and I go, there it is.
Yeah.
I've just always believed that everybody has some sort of good in them.
That's true.
Yeah.
But the biggest lesson that I've learned from this is when somebody shows you who they truly are,
them.
you need to
Believe them. That's
Yes,
my
ma'am.
favorite quote from
I like
Oprah.
that too. Me too, man.
Thank you, Queen.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
But you know, you can't really be mad at that too, because you know that's a very hard quality to actually come by in a person, because everybody's going through a little bit of hurt that's caused a thumbprint of mistrust in their heart for anybody that they meet. Just in any relationship, you know what I mean? Like, you always expect a certain level of reciprocity, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like you're going into it like with the best intentions and you're expecting the exact same. And the same thing with trust, right? Like, I feel like it's now gotten to a point, this is why I hate dating now. Like, it's now gotten to a point where it's like, everybody like that you meet, you're like kind of expecting that they're gonna fuck you over now. Like, you can't fully trust, and the more you don't fully trust, like, you get in this wall up, then they can't really get to know you. It's a crazy ass fucking game. So how do you win? You know what I'm saying?
Such a good
So
point.
I really don't blame you, man, for actually like being in that position where, you know, I actually don't really call it like being gullible. I say you love with your whole heart. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I do.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that you do. But the main thing that I want to tell people is, especially with people that are super charming, they are one way with other people, and then behind closed doors with the people that they're closest with, like the love bombing at the start. You think, oh my God, they're my knight in shining armor. Then the mask eventually falls off, right? And then you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And then, you know, you hold on to that glimmer of like, oh, but at the start they were like this. But that wasn't even reality. That was just a mask.
Absolutely.
But you constantly chase after that mask. This is not saying anything against Harrison. I'm just saying, like, in general. Like,
it's real.
It's
And
real.
it's just, I mean, but I even think that you could see it. My mum could see it when she was watching me on TV.
Yeah.
She goes, the girl at the wedding with the, she was bright and bubbly and happy to almost the last probably 2 weeks. She's like, you looked
like a shell of a person, right?
Yeah.
I saw that within
like
you, within myself as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
sad.
totally
And that
get
broke
it.
me too. Because, like, you take yourself back to that moment and you're like, oh, my God. Like, I just wanted to give myself the biggest hug. It broke me so much to see myself like that.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't realise that. And a lot of people don't get to see themselves, I guess, for literally on TV deteriorate. Like, it's literally how it felt. Like, my soul and the life and the light in my eyes was just completely drained week by week.
Literally.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
In hindsight, you actually looking back at it going, I was actually trying to avoid this experience and now I've said yes. I'm here now. Shit, ain't no turning back. Let's try this best thing. So, when you were on there, like, did you kind of feel a little bit of regret?
I think it comes and goes. I don't like to live my life with regret because I like to think that every single person or anything that happens to you, you can learn something from that. And I learned so much from my experience on MAFS and with Harrison that I've implemented all of that into my life now. And I believe that I was supposed to go through it because I was just in this toxic pattern with men. And I feel like Harrison was my final, like, moment where it's like you can't keep giving to the wrong people and expecting a certain outcome. You got to give the love that you want to give to somebody else. You have to give it to yourself. And I never understood that. I never knew what that meant. And I was just like, oh, whatever. Like, I do love myself.
Yes.
And then I was experiencing and I was like, I don't respect myself. That's more what it was. And your self-worth and your self-respect has to be stronger than your feelings when it comes to
so true. Because I used to think, people were banging on about, you need to have more self-love, rah, rah. I'm like, fucking, I go to the salon, I have a face mask on, I go to the fucking spa all the time. I fucking love myself, but it's not about that. It's having healthy boundaries. And like what you were saying before is like having the bravery to say no when it doesn't serve you for your highest good. Do you know what I mean? That's self-love.
100%, man. We're actually going to take a bit of a turn here and talk about Love Island for a second. Your sister is on Love Island.
She is.
Honestly, I love Kirra.
Nah.
I have binged and watched every second of it, and my heart, honestly, goes to her. Like, she, so far from what I've seen, she's held herself really well. When she cried, I cried. She's kind of giving Stella from last season. Like, she keeps putting herself out there. She's like, trying to hold herself well, and she's always remaining positive no matter what gets thrown her way. But damn, that show has done her fucking dirty.
It's tough, man.
She has been thrown every obstacle under the sun.
And she's still, like, trying so hard.
Literally.
The resilience in this family, I'm telling you now.
Honestly. the Schofield blood, man. So she walks in, then Reed walks in. Do you want to fill people in on what the backstory is with that?
Well, the backstory with Reed, it's literally a blip in my life. So him and I, we hooked up. Now the world knows. Like,
the way he worded that, though, it's like, I fucked your sister. I was like,
I was dying inside when Kirra told me, because the way that it even came about is obviously when you come out of the villa. I actually heard from production. I was in Bali, and I'd heard from production. They called me and they were like, we just want to let you know that when a family member's having a bad time, they've got the support.
You're like, the fuck? What you mean?
And I've gone,
what?
Okay, is this your way of telling me that Kira's not having a good time? Because Kirra and I are very, very connected, and I've been having these bad dreams, and I hadn't been restless nights, and I've been like, she's not okay. I can feel it. Like, I could just feel it. I just knew. And I was like, I just couldn't be settled. I was like, I just know that she's not okay.
Whoa.
And then they called me and they told me that, and I was like, cool. So now I'm going to be literally on my Bali trip stressing about my sister that I can't even speak to. The next day I get the call and they're like, hey, just letting you know that, this has happened with Kirra. Then she's got her phone and she's like, you're not going to believe who was in the villa. And I was like, who? I was so excited. She's like, Reed. And I was like, Reed
who?
Polak. And so I was like, before I even got the chance to be like, I hooked up with Reed. She goes, so you hooked up with Reed? And I was like,
I can explain.
And she's like, I don't care. And I was like, did you couple up with Reed? She's like, yeah. And she told me the whole thing. Neither of us even cared. Like, I hooked up with Reed 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Kira's like, I don't even remember when I matched with him on Tinder. She's like, honestly, it was not that deep. Everyone's like, oh my God, you slept with your sister's ex-boyfriend. How could you do that? And I'm like,
ain't nobody knew, but
What?
my question is, how did
this information?
how did production even find his ass?
I think because when in my application, when I was speaking to a few of the producers, I got asked, have I dated or slept with anybody famous or anybody from reality TV? So I assume that that's what's happened with Reed. That's just my guess. And then they've gone, Abby, Reed, Kirra, perfect.
The crossovers with MAFS and Love Island this year.
Oh my God, it's crazy. So yeah, Kirra went in, Reed walked in, he had matched with Kirra on Tinder, also slept with you, and then they decided to couple up. And then in walks Abby. Then Abby's like, she had the bombshell dropped on her as well on a date. That wasn't fair on her. The poor thing was like rattled as fuck. She was crying. Production did her dirty as well. She was shaking.
She's like, I only just got here, man.
Literally. So then
I actually messaged her.
Yeah, I heard
That's
that you guys were talking. So basically, Abby was the girl that Harrison was seeing just before he went on MAFS to marry Bronte. She was the girl that was infamous for packing his suitcase, literally, for him to come on to get married. So the whole thing is just such a big schmozzle. And then she matches up with, she wanted to couple up with Reed, who has slept with Bronte. Like, this is not even a triangle. This is like a giant
trapezium.
web.
It's honestly like, it is wild. Like, you just cannot make this up. Like,
honestly, what the hell?
But for me, I think the craziest thing about all of this happening is, as much as there's a lot of drama going on inside the villa, now it's happening outside of the villa on Facebook,
I know.
fan pages.
Yes.
Harrison can't shut the fuck up.
Oh,
that's a mad thing.
Not possible.
What did he say?
What did he say?
So for those people that didn't see the comment, it was on the MAFS fan group on Facebook, and he said, I would only watch Love Island Australia if they put Kirra on Epstein Island. That's fucked.
That's pretty messed up.
Who has the time
even
to insult somebody like that?
Can someone explain what Epstein Island is?
Well, you don't know what this is?
Yeah, well, just for people that don't know.
Oh, okay. So basically, with the notes that we have here, Epstein Island is the island that, Jeffrey Epstein, he passed away, but he had this program that he was running on an island that nobody knew about, and he basically would, traffic underage women too, and it's basically known as Pedophile Island. So it's not a good comment at all. This is potentially incriminating, bro.
I mean, the one time I did meet Harrison, I think from what I remembered, he has like a really dry humor and personality. Do you think that was just something that he just said because he thought it was funny and he didn't mean anything malicious by it?
I think that he genuinely thought that people were going to think it was funny, but what he doesn't realise is that that's a serious, serious comment. Mm-hmm. You can't say to me, don't call me a narcissist because I have a son, and then go and say something like that about my sister. It just makes no sense. Mm-hmm. So I guess for me, I just saw red. Like, I saw red and I was like, you cannot think that comment is normal and okay. Mm-hmm. Like the way that his brain is wired, it's like, I just would love for somebody to just study his brain, because I can't figure it out. I just, it broke my heart, because I was like, how could you say that about someone's family? Like, how would you feel if someone said that about your child? Like, you would not like that at all. With Harrison, it's he can say things, but the second anybody else does, oh no, you're the bad guy. So he's very, very good at victimizing himself.
Yeah. There's no responsible there. But did you say something to him?
Oh, I went off.
Oh.
I just took straight. So basically what had been happening is it was like the straw that broke the camel's back when I saw this comment. And I was sitting on the couch with my sister and we we're recapping the night before, like from Love Island. We were preparing ourselves for the night that was to come. And she's like, I've just been reading the comments. And I was like, it's literally like the worst thing that you can do, but totally get it. Like,
not good.
It's like the curiosity just takes over and you're like, oh, I wonder if anybody said anything nice. And then you're like, there's no nice comments. It's all awful. So she was getting, basically she broke down. She's like, I feel like everybody just thinks I'm like this ugly ogre and I'm the ugliest in the villa and everybody's, they were making her feel, which at the end of the day, it's expected. There's always going to be trolls, but it doesn't mean that her feelings should be invalidated because nobody wants to read that. Like nobody wants to read that about themselves. And it's a shock when you're not used to it.
Big time.
So then I was like, oh, don't worry. I'll probably end up saying something soon because I'm sick to death of seeing it's the same fake accounts that are doing it. And then I get sent that by what Harrison said. And I just flipped it. Like I just was in the car. I was about to go for my coast walk, slam my phone on my steering wheel. And I was like, right. I was like, you cannot get away with this. Like usually I don't bite into Harrison's like just nasty comments or empty threats, whatever. I don't care. But that, because it was about my sister, he knows what buttons to push with me. He knows. And at that point, I didn't care. I was like, you are never going to get away with saying something like that about my family.
Nah. That's just such a low blow, man. Like who says stuff like that? And this is someone like that's packed their bags to go for an experience that you pack your bags to go for as well too. And imagine if you're having shit time.
Well, he didn't technically pack his own bag.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Abby did.
All right, sister. Somebody else did.
I put that in the comments somewhere. I was like, yeah, well, at least Kirra packed her own bags. Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, and Abby was like, he gave her his keys and was like, can you water my plants while I go on the show? Did you hear that? Did you see that?
No, I did not know that. Are you serious?
Yes, and it was only till after your wedding day when everything blew up and you found out about Abby that he apparently messaged her and was like, we're done.
That was the night of the wedding. We got back to the hotel room and I was still asking him questions about it. So I was like, this doesn't add up to me. I was like, this makes no sense. And he's like, oh, I'll delete her number right now. And he messaged her. And
message her saying, yo, just leave the plants outside and just leave the key under the rug. The rain will look after the plants.
Well, his thing was he was going to spend weekends with her and film the show with you during the week.
That's mad.
Like he had a roster still going on MAFS.
Oh, yeah. I know he did. Because there would be times there where it's like, I know that most of this was planned. Like I'd get photos of his son. They would be, I don't know, at the shops and have a balloon. I'm like, is this an old photo?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, really? For real?
Yeah. I'd be like, I don't know if I believe that you're with your son right now. I don't know. That's just maybe my trust issues. But at the end of the day, he got a girlfriend really quick after the show. And I was like, you don't just come out of something like this and boom, girlfriend.
Exactly.
Like you have to build that relationship. And it would have been, he lives in Sydney. He lives in Sydney. Yeah. So he would have been going out. He was always out on the weekends. So he goes, Bronte, you didn't want to do anything with me. And I was like, no, you were always with your friends or you were with your son. You never invited me. You invited me to do one thing, one weekend. That was it.
Well, I remember, like, I wasn't here for that episode, but when I was listening to that episode when he was on, he made a point that he was sincere and genuine going on MAFS because post-show he's now in a serious relationship and you're not, and you started OnlyFans, and that shows your true intentions. Like, what do you have to say about that?
Let's light that candle. Okay. So
let's go.
She's just like, let me adjust my seat.
Take my gloves off.
Let's go. Obviously, I had a business prior to the show. I was looking for love. I genuinely was. No matter what anybody says, no matter what's been leaked, I genuinely was looking for someone. And obviously, Harrison pulls this narrative of being like, but I was single before the show. And I'm like, that's fine. No shit. We all know that. You've made that quite clear. But at the end of the day, it's like you knew that you were going into this at least 3 weeks before. So all of that should have been cut off. When Harrison and I started to obviously form a bit of a bond, and I'd like to call it a trauma bond because that's what it was, you know, there was talks of him and my, I guess, authenticity, trying to be like, you're not, how long do you want to stay here for? And blah, 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 blah. And I'd be like, at the time when he was asking me all of this, I was like, but I like you, Harrison. Like, I want to see this through and see where this can go. Like, I want to move to Sydney. I've always wanted to move. Like, this is the perfect opportunity. And looking back on it now, he'd always be like, well, what if I was to get you pregnant and then you leave with my child? Like, there was just all this. Yeah, it was just, now I look back on it. It's insanity, yeah.
Okay.
So I just kids, we haven't even left the experiment. I haven't even moved. He's like, what are you going to do for a job? I was like, I work online. Like, my business was online. I was like, I can work from anywhere. So there was just all of these excuses because he had somebody else, right? I remember this one night. He goes, I have always wanted to do OnlyFans. And I went, okay. He's like, would you do it with me? And I went, I was taken back. I was like, would I do it with you? And in my head, I'm like, what? So you can use this against me later? I was like, this is just the way that my brain works. I was like, no, I would not do OnlyFans with you. He's like, I know the guy who can come into Sky Suites right now, and I've got his number, and he films all OnlyFans couples, and he's like, I can get him in here, and we can screw production. Like, it was just this big thing, and I was like sitting there, mind blown, like, what is going on? So that for me was like, okay, so has he just done this so that he can launch his OnlyFans? And I was like, get that bag, like, whatever.
Yeah, pop off.
Then obviously I've come off the show and I've gone, I was in such a deep, deep depression. Like, my business basically, I'll just be completely honest with you, fell from underneath me. I did not have the energy to respond to my clients. I didn't even have the energy some days to get out of bed. And then I got given an opportunity and someone goes, would you ever think about doing OnlyFans? And I was like, I actually made a joke and I was like, I'm this close to just making an OnlyFans. I was like, screw it. I've got this platform that I have no idea what I want to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Bali with one of my friends, started it. The rest is history. And honestly, it has been a whirlwind. And Harrison can think that the money that has been made is fake, whatever. It is what it is. I don't care. I know the type of money that can be made with this. But honestly, the man is only mad because I'm doing what he wanted to do. And it's not my whole life. Like, I literally have other businesses in the making. Yeah. And that's the whole reason why I did it. It's a means to an end. And it's a great way to make money really quickly.
Absolutely, man.
Wow.
We didn't know about this bit, man. Because all we were hearing was just the shame that was coming with, her morals, like coming off the show. Like, and, my man was trying to cook up something.
Morals. Like, I'm still me. And it's like, does he forget that he was a male stripper and I was
we said that.
With that?
Yes. Good question. Yep. Yeah. Because we actually asked him the same thing, and we were like, you were stripping before you got on the show. Yeah. Why is that different to what she's doing? And I don't even remember what his
He said it was prior to the show, and he's a changed man going into MAFS.
No, he's not.
Like, that was his
he's
past.
He's never going to change. But that's funny because his reasoning to everybody else was, I know my clients. Bronte doesn't know her clients, and I'm like, huh?
A leopard never changes its spots, man.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, it's. Oh,
you're
anyway.
iconic, huh? It's like, I love it.
Honestly, that's just the way that he makes my brain function. I just like it's just constant question marks and that little monkey that's like. That's literally how I feel whenever he talks. I'm so confused.
Man, that kind of shook me a little bit, man. I wish we knew that a little bit earlier before we actually started this.
Yeah, crazy.
That's
he was going around to everybody apparently part of MAFS being like, now I can start my OnlyFans. So like he had every intention on doing it. Yeah, he's mad because I did it. And he goes, but Bronte said she'd never do it. I was like, no, mate, I said that I'd never do it with you. Mm-hmm. Don't put words in my mouth. Everybody is going to have an opinion. I had an opinion on OnlyFans for a long time, and it's purely because I was uneducated on it. It's, half of my photos that I actually sell are my feet.
Stop.
People want my feet. Somebody paid me $700 for a photo of my belly button. My belly button.
What?
Yes.
What's like the most messed up request you've had on OnlyFans?
To be fair, I haven't been in it long enough to have a lot. There's been a lot of butt stuff, obviously. A lot of guys want
but you got a hot butt.
And thank you. I pride myself on that. Apparently, according to Harrison's workmate, I have the arse of a flat tire.
What the fuck?
You definitely don't. I've seen
I know.
it.
I know I don't. So, yeah. So it's like, for me, I know that like the requests and whatnot, they can get quite intense. And obviously, you choose what you are comfortable with doing. And, it was actually my parents who were the ones that were like, Bronte, it's in this day and age, you have to do what you have to do. They're like, the money that can be made is, you don't even have to do this for a long time. You can do this for a short time, fund your business, go traveling, buy a house. It's just one of those things where if you don't utilize it after, as, Taku said, we've got this little window, and I utilized it. You got to strike while the iron's hot. That's exactly
Most definitely
what I did.
go.
So,
I think there's just such a bad stigma
There
with
is.
OnlyFans, right?
And that's okay. I'm okay with it. I've accepted it. I'm still me, and it is what it is at the end of the day. My mom was like, Bronte, you post bikini photos for Christ's sake. You don't want, you may as well just get paid for the things that you're posting. And I was like,
I think it's just the assumption, like OnlyFans, she must be doing like nudes and porn.
Absolutely. And I just let people talk. That's fine. Like, if that's what's going to help you rest your head at night and sleep, that's okay. I know what I'm willing to do to achieve and get ahead in life. And if that doesn't align with you, that's fine. You're not supposed to get along with everyone. And
most definitely.
Harrison can just stay in his lane, and I'd tell him to shut up, but we know that's never going to happen. So
Yeah. Apart from all the negativity, girl, like, have you been, dating around at the moment? Like, or like, have you been going on adventures?
No.
She's shaking her head like, I didn't even get to finish off, and she's like, nah. No, thanks.
Coming back to my energy healer, when I saw her, when I come off the show, I saw her in November. We finished filming November 12th, and this was before the reunion, and it was just before my birthday and everything as well. And she was like, she does this, obviously, like a chakras and all of that crazy stuff, which I love. And she was like, your nervous system is so short, you're still holding on to this part of Harrison that you need to let go. And I was like, yeah, I can feel that. I was like, I understand that. And she's like, you can't physically, your body, your heart, your soul, you cannot date for 6 months. So that was in November. It's now November this year, and I'm still single. So it's taken me a long time. I've been on one sit down dinner date in Bali. I met him the night I landed, and we met out. We're at Mexicola, and then he was like, I really want to take you on a date.
I love Mexicola.
It's so much fun. It's
so much fun.
The best place ever. I'm actually going back next week for my sister for my 30th. But it's going to be so fun. I met him, and I knew even then, that was back in August, that I was like, wasn't ready. He was asking me what size engagement rings I wanted, and he's like, I'm originally from Melbourne. My family's over there. I'd love to take you to my family's cottage. And I was like, what, so you can kill me? I was like,
how the hell do you attract these men?
He was like dead set, ready to go. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was just like, so not ready. But I've got to a point now, probably in the last 6 weeks, that I'm like, I'm ready to open my heart up to the possibility. Yeah. Like, it's not that it was ever closed. I just needed to choose myself before anybody.
Of course.
Yeah.
What's your type?
I was about, come on.
Oh, damn. Like mine.
In terms of physically, or
just everything. Everything.
Look, it's funny because when I applied for MAFS, I wrote that I loved men that were the alpha and that loved to take care of themselves and blah, blah, blah. Now that I look back on it and I'm like, wow, I really did describe Harrison, didn't I? Like, it's just, I set myself up really Bronte, it was you. But now that I've taken a step back, it's like I don't really have a specific type at all. I just love someone's energy, and I believe that the nervous system is going to tell you whether somebody is right and whether it's wrong. That gut instinct. And I don't do the texty text BS anymore. You can't build a relationship over the phone. I believe that unless you're long distance, that's a completely different story. But being in someone's presence, that's when I know if you're my type or not. If I feel calm around you, I'm going to pursue this. If I feel like if you leave and I start randomly crying or getting emotional, that's my nervous system, my gut saying, this person's not for you.
Yes, that's the best advice my dad's ever given me.
Yeah.
It's not like the energy that you get and receive when you're with the person. It's after you leave that interaction, how do you feel? Do you feel energized? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel seen, heard, celebrated?
Wow.
If you walk away feeling any doubt, insecurity or drained, you know that person is not right for you. Whether it's a friend or a partner, you need to walk away, listen to that gut.
You got to protect your peace. You got to protect your energy. And the energy that you give out is what you're going to receive too. It's the biggest thing that I've learned. And that road can be lonely. I've been lonely for a lot of this year, but I'd rather be in my own presence and around 2 or 3 good people than in a crowd that don't actually care about me. Like, I don't go out to these big events because whenever I do, I come back and I will quite physically cry. Like, I can't handle all of the emotion. I'm an empath. I take on everybody's emotion. Like, what was it? The Logies, for instance. Everyone's like, are you upset that you didn't get invited? And I was like, hell no, because I would have gone for 20 minutes and cried in the Uber on the way home with my McDonald's. Like, I just, I wouldn't have been able to handle it. And it's when it comes to dating and when it comes to the people that I have in my life, like, I'm very selective now. I don't just want to have that, look at me, I have a boyfriend, I'm succeeding in life. Like, there's so much more to being happy and successful than painting a picture for followers.
Yeah. Look, before we go, I actually got one more question for you.
Yes.
What other show do you reckon you'll go on after this if you were, to have the opportunity to apply for another one?
Oh, gosh. Kirra and I say this all the time. We're like, we will never go on another show. Like, because obviously it was just so traumatic. But we've made it like a pact. We're like, the only way we would ever go on a show is if we were to go on it together.
Together, yes!
Wow,
there is no way.
We need to see that.
Yeah, and we think it would be absolutely chaotic. It would be hilarious.
Iconic.
Yeah,
and
people will really get to see true representation of who Kirra and I really are. Like, I mean, if I was to do anything, I probably would do maybe Love Island UK or maybe like a Netflix show, like Too Hot to Handle. I reckon that would be really fun.
Oh,
are you planting a seed right now, girl?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm still single, so if they want to link up, it's
we see you.
But I'm never getting married on TV ever again. That is never happening. I had MAFS New Zealand be like, would you be interested? And I was like, no.
She just turned into Simon Cowell. It's a no from us.
Traumatized.
No, but you know what though? I think I just wanted to end on this note and just say, like, we see the journey, you know what I'm saying? And like, we knew that you were hurting because it's a lot to be said about that person that doesn't say anything at all when they're being attacked. And you were definitely like in the firing zone, man. Like you were just catching bullets. But I'm so sorry to hear about your dad, man, and I hope your spirit is okay. Like, we see you doing the work, and we're so proud of the journey, man. We see you, girl.
So proud. Aww. The growth and the journey and your light that's shining through right now, through the mics and the screen, you have honestly like grown so much.
Thank you. That's so nice. Girl. I feel like sometimes you don't see it within yourself. Like, I'm now kind of going through the second wave with my sister, and I'm trying to keep my head above the water to keep her head above the water. So it's nice to have that recognition. Not that I need it, but it's nice. So
nice, of course.
Absolutely, girl. Well, look, on that note, man, thank you so much for joining us today, and
thank you.
Yeah, we hope to see you in Sydney.
I will be over soon. I promise.
Send Kirra our love.
I will.
We love you so much.
Love you,
girl. Thanks so much, eh? Talk to you soon, girl.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you.
B.
You're the best. Bye.